Kale's gotta be the biggest simp on this damn planet.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you never miss a video. As always, guys, make sure you go ahead, do as I do, and follow the creator of Dragon Ball Dreamscape, Kale X Goku. In the description below, in the top comment, is going to be their Twitter handle. And if you are not caught up, as always, the playlist is there for you guys as well. Although, if you really haven't seen anything up to this point, this is the beginning of a brand new arc. So the only real thing you need to know, you need to catch up on, is that Kale woke up because she heard Goku outside of her window training with Whis. Remember, they are on Beerus's planet, so we really can just go from there and continue the story basically with only that in mind. As Kale watches Goku in Super Saiyan God versus Whis right outside her window, which in my opinion that would be such a dope thing to see outside your window, she starts thinking about how Goku never lectured her about everything that went on in the last arc, which was her stealing the Omni King button and then fighting against him, and you know, she said that she hated him, all that stuff. Goku never mentioned it or never brought up a word, which makes sense. Goku really doesn't like to think about things too long or too deeply, and he doesn't really like to dwell on stuff. He likes to just kind of keep going forward and keep moving forward, and that's kind of weird for Kale because she thought that there was a lecture coming in it after all of it was over. It seems like specifically with this issue, he did not lecture her, because when they first started training, Kale seems to not have been the best student, and he wasn't listening to anything Goku had to say, because of course she blamed him for the Tournament of Power. So Goku actually threatened her. He said, I mean, if you're not going to cooperate, you can just pack up your shit and go home, which is just fucking badass Goku right there. It seems essentially that Kale really didn't want to go to Beerus's planet. She didn't really want to go to Universe 7. She didn't really want to be trained by Goku. She doesn't like Goku. She wants to just train with Caulifla and have it just be the two of them without him. And now she is essentially the student to a man that she's got all these conflicting feelings for, and she doesn't like it. So at the time before their climactic battle in the last chapter, last arc, before all that, when they were training, she was just being very, very disruptive and not really, you know, being beneficial to the training process. So that's why Goku threatened her to go home. But it seems like she may have a change of heart now, seeing as how she's really seen the bright side of Goku, the good side, and that probably goes a long way as to how she's going to treat him in the future. She thinks back on a conversation she had with Caulifla, where Caulifla thinks it's insulting that Goku is holding back on both of them, even though he's seen what they can do in the Tournament of Power. So Kale is going to investigate Goku's power now that she is basically awakened by his loud explosions and the energy and everything. She can't go back to sleep, and she might as well go check it out and get more information on this Saiyan and his fighting capabilities. She justifies this to herself by saying that Champa wants them to be stronger and get stronger, and if Goku's holding out on them, then, you know, she needs to investigate and get stronger. Plus, at the same time, Champa wants the Universe 6 Saiyans to be the same as the Universe 7 Saiyans. And she's come to the realization that they're not going to learn to be that powerful just by simple normal training on its own. And so she needs to go a little bit more beyond that. And here is probably the most interesting thing that I've heard in a while, because it really just brings up so many questions about why they would come to this conclusion. But here she says, Goku and Vegeta already said they won't show us how to become gods. But why? That's the question that I ask myself. Why wouldn't Goku and Vegeta, both of them, have made it clear that they're not going to show the next generation of Saiyans to become Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue? They're not going to teach them that stuff. Now, the only thing that I can think of, because I don't think that it's coming from a malicious standpoint that either Whis or Beerus told them not to do it. I don't think that it's that case. Although I do see Beerus telling Goku, like, don't teach him that because I don't want my brother to have, you know, gods of his own. I can see that, but Goku's not going to go along with that. So she makes it clear that it's Goku and Vegeta's, it's them saying it. So The only thing that I can think of is that I don't see them holding back because they're selfish. They don't want them to be as strong as the Seven Saiyans. But I think that what is going on here is that Goku and Vegeta want to train them not in God first. So that way they get a taste of all the other powers, 2, 3, and so on, Kaioken, different abilities. What we're seeing in the Goku Trains Caulifla manga, things like that. They want to kind of teach them step by step, go up a ladder and get to the next level, level by level, and then eventually they're going to, do the Super Saiyan God ritual and see if that works the same way for Universe 6 Saiyans, and that way they can become gods as well. Because if they become gods right now, where they're barely trained, Kale doesn't really have control over her emotions and stuff, it could be very, very dangerous for not only Universe 6, but Universe 7 as well. So they want them to get trained up and be 100% before they train them into that God level. That's what I think that Goku and Vegeta are saying. So I think that they're saying that they're not going to train them on that stuff now, but in the future they will. But Kale's right. It's not fair for them to have such an advantage over them when it comes to powers. The God powers completely outclass the Saiyan powers. And as Kale looks over the hedges, she sees both of them fighting, and it looks just so damn cool. And this is where she goes into full-on fangirl mode, and I feel like a lot of this is the creator of this Dragon Ball fan manga, Kaleverse, talking through Kale, like she loves the transformation of God, and how Ultra Instinct has silver eyes and looks really, really cool and really hot, things like that. I think that this whole panel is just projection here from the creator, Kaleverse. That's just my opinion, but Kale's got a trunk though, just letting you know if you didn't see it before. Anyway, Goku is attacking Whis with everything he has, and he's really trying to get in on him because they are training, which is cool to see Goku train in Super Saiyan God, and they're trying to push that level up the next ranking, because I always thought God had a lot of potential. But in that split second, he feels Kale's ki, he feels Kale's presence, and he looks away from Whis, dropping his guard, and that's not a good sign around Whis. And he uses his staff. I love this whole panel right here. I think this is my favorite panel in this whole chapter here, because I like Goku's face, how it just looks really silly, and he gets electrocuted by the staff. I think the fact that Whis is a martial artist is really cool. I think that he should use his staff more, because he could use it as a martial arts weapon. I think that would be really cool, and the staff does have a lot of power, so I definitely like that he used it here, and he completely electrocutes Goku, shooting him into some bedrock, and Kale realizes that she's the reason that this happened. See, this is the reason that Goku won't teach you Super Saiyan God, you silly girl. And Goku's just a good sport coming out of the rubble, he's like, that hurt. And of course, Whis is like, you can't have any distractions. Distractions are bad for you. Goku goes back to his base form. It looks like this last attack from Whis really took the wind out of him. And that's when Kale begins to apologize about everything. She did not mean to interrupt the fight. She was just looking over and seeing exactly what was going on. And Whis is like, you know what? The fact that you're here, this actually gives me an idea. And he asks Kale to come over. And of course, every time we've seen Kale so far, she's like in her underwear or her bedtime spandex, and I'm not complaining here, I'm just saying, it's just an observation that's usually how Kale has been dressed in this Dragon Ball fan manga. And so she walks over, and Whis makes a barrier around their whole surrounding area, and this has Goku intrigued. They're trapped in this barrier. What is going on, Whis? What is the agenda? And Whis has an idea, because there's a guest here. He's going to spice things up a little bit, and Goku and Kale stare at each other intently. So what Whis says is he's going to crank things up a bit and attack Goku, probably stronger than what he was attacking him before. That's probably why he put up the barrier. And in the meantime, Kale isn't going to be addressed by those attacks, but she is going to have to, as an innocent bystander, try to evade and stay out of harm's way, basically pushing Goku to defend Kale against Whis, which is just such good writing. I like this whole situation. Personally, for me, I love this shipping, and I love this story. But I like these situations that are forced upon the characters where, now Goku has to protect Kale. I like that kind of thing. Goku says that she's not ready, but Whis is like, I'm going to spice things up anyway, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And to make things a little bit more fun, I'm going to have this flag. If you guys get the flag, the match is over. Basically, he is Kakashi, and Goku and Kale are Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. and that is their bells they have to get, because that is the only way that they're going to survive the Whis onslaught. Whis is about to prepare the attack, and Goku's like, don't worry, Kale, we got this, we can do this. And he's just so confident that this is going to end well, and I don't think that it's going to end as well as he thinks it is, or as easy as he thinks it is. And that is where we have to leave today's Dragon Ball fan manga. In the next chapter, we have Whis versus Goku and Kale. Make sure you're here tomorrow for that chapter. And if you made it to this point in the video, you are now part of the hashtag End of Video Squad. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure to drop that comment with that hashtag for a chance to be featured in my next video. Today, I'm going to be responding to Dev Dog Productions. Girls just throw themselves at Goku without him doing anything, and it's awesome. Yeah, it is pretty cool. He's kind of like the vintage anime dude that is oblivious to girls, and then all these girls just kind of throw themselves at him. I think in the anime and even in the video games this has happened a few times, but mostly in Dragon Ball fan mangas or animations, people like to ship a lot of girls with Goku. And that's partly because Goku doesn't seem to be interested in girls, and also partly because Chi-Chi isn't really the best in Super or Z. So I don't know, people probably think that a different ship would be better, like, you know, Goku Caulifla, Goku Bulma, or in this case, Goku Kale. Anyway, thank you so much for your comment. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Perish.